Hello everyone, how are we all doing? Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a like if you're interested in IEM receivers and transmitters. Today we're looking at a transmitter and receiver by KIMAFUN. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. They're very kind enough to send me across these devices for me to try out and just give my honest opinion on them. And I will be honest with them. And I'll give some pros and some cons of these systems and who I think this is for. First of all, like what is an IEM transmitter and receiver? What this allows you to do, IEMs just stands for in-ear monitors, and you can watch a previous video I did which explains a little bit more about in-ear monitors and some custom molds that I had made by Cosmic Ears. You probably see that in the feed. You can watch that video. So today we're looking at the KIMAFUN version, and this is wireless. So who is wireless for? So I suppose when you're playing on stage as a musician in a band, and you know, space is limited, as I've said before in the previous video, you maybe not want floor wedges. You haven't got space for that. Floor wedges are just like monitors, speakers in front of you, firing sound back so you can hear and monitor yourself. So in-ear monitors is a great way of sort of space saving and very clean, efficient way of you keeping it, you know, sound into your ears. You can also have multiple mixes on stage as well, so you can sort of share a mix with bass and drums might share a mix, for instance. You might share a mix with the singer, it's entirely up to you, or you might have individual mixes completely because you want them, you know, to really sort of hone in on what sort of instruments you can hear in your feed. So, someone you know, who may require these would be potentially guitarists, vocalists, yeah, maybe drummers as well. With drummers, I suppose, when you're looking between wired and wireless, which one do you need? A drummer is pretty much planted, I would say, at the back of the stage. So you could probably get away with a decent cable, a long enough cable. You could go into your mixing desk, depending on where it is on stage. You could probably get away with a cable, which is probably fine. So that answers that question. So you may not need a wireless if you're a drummer. Guitarists tend to move around a little bit more, bassists tend to move around a little bit more, and singers certainly move around a little bit more. So that's when wireless packs come in handy. What wireless just gives you freedom, basically. I've not tried wired because I just knew it'd just be a nightmare being tethered to a mixing desk, because wherever you go, you're going to be constantly tethered. A very long time ago, I went to a wireless guitar system as well, and I haven't looked back. I don't jump around stage and go crazy, but having that freedom on stage where I can just move around freely without being tethered to an amplifier or you know, a mixing system, then it's so much nicer for me. So what I will say, the system I currently use with the band that I use live is a Shure PSM system. I've had it for quite a few years now. I think it must be over 4 or 5 years, and it's been solid. It's been a really great system. So I wasn't looking to buy a new system because it's a really great system. I'm very, very happy with it, and it works very, very well. But this was more like a backup. So this could be a backup, something you can slip in your bag, your gig bag, your guitar bag, or wherever you keep your accessories. That you can take to a gig, and it's a backup, you know, that you can get you through a gig. And it's not just get me through a gig, it will do a very good job as well. You could potentially use this, as I said, as your whole setup. But for me, I already have that system anyway, and it's a very, very good system, very professional system. I'd say these are not something you probably take on like a stadium tour or something like that, but they're not aimed at that market, and they are to me, they're probably one of the cheapest that you can get on Amazon. When I checked this morning, the price seems to fluctuate up and down a little bit, but when I checked this morning, they're like $129.99, which is very, very reasonable price for what they do. Just in comparison, the Shure system that I use, when I bought that was over 600 and something pounds, for, you know, potentially doing the same sort of thing. Yes, there are a lot more pros to the Shure system in terms of distance, frequencies, things like that, but for the price, these are very, very good. So let's talk about them a little bit. So these are, I said, these are KIMAFUN. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hopefully so. They have 6 channels. So 6 channels which you can see which light up on here. If I just turn them on, they will light up. So you get different colours on screen. Actually, you turn it on the side. I should know that. There we go. I was holding down the channel button, but you actually turn them on the side, which I did know that. So we get the lights on the top there, so you can see the different colour lights. And it's saying already it's connected up on channel 4. I can press that channel button that I was pressing a second ago, and it goes through the channels. And if I put it on channel 1 or 2, there we go. And I move that one to channel 1 and 2. They blink until they're connected, and then once they're connected, they will stay a steady colour, which is pretty cool. Okay, so it's telling you you've got the signal there. So one of these is the transmitter and one of them is the receiver. What you would do, the one with the clip is pretty obvious which one is which, because the one with the clip is the one that clips to you. So you clip that on your back belt and then put your headphones or your IEMs into the top of there. Now it's very, very light, like very light. My body pack that I use on the shore still is pretty light pack, but it has a long aerial sticking out of it, which sometimes annoys me because it sort of, I put it on my guitar strap and it sort of stabs me in the back of the arm. It's just annoying. You just got to get it a bit higher up on the strap, but it is annoying. This doesn't have any of that, which is quite cool. And this will just connect to your back belt and you wouldn't even notice it was there. So it's a very, very light system, which is a massive pro for this one. So what can you use this for? And what would I use this for? So I would either use this, as I said, as a backup with the band if something goes down or my system, God forbid, stops working. I would use this very commonly with my acoustic duo, and that's where I would use this the most. And also, I've been using it in the studio here when I'm teaching. I plug this into the front of my interface, and instead of having like a long cable that I was using, because I was pretty much, when I'm in lesson, I'm mounted to the sat in the chair. I'd have a long cable that would run around and just be connected to my IEMs. Now I can go wireless, which means I don't need that long cable anymore. I can clip this to my belt and I've got wireless IEMs. So, which on a few occasions when I've been wheeling around to get a few things in the studio, which are pretty close by, having a wireless system is very beneficial. Like I said, you're not tethered to anything. You're not going to sort of potentially tug anything or break anything or pull anything out. So it's very, very cool in that respect. So these are based on a 2.4 gigahertz like frequency band, which is like your Wi-Fi band. So I'll just turn these off so I don't drain the battery. I'll talk about that in a second. But it's a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi that sort of band. So that's very common. Okay, that's very common for things to be on. The only downside of that, as I said, if you're a professional band and you're sort of playing in stadiums or tours and things like that, this might not be for you because that frequency can get a little bit crowded. I didn't have any issues with it when I used it live, but if you went to, a hotel that's got lots of Wi-Fi, or wherever you're playing or playing in a stadium, there's a lot of things going on, and Wi-Fi, you might potentially have sort of dropouts. It might sort of pick up, flip between the channels a little bit. You have got, I said, 6 channels to choose from, so if you're finding issues with one channel, you can move to another channel and find a channel that's more suitable. But that could potentially be an issue. And I do use a Behringer X Air system, like a wireless. It can connect to an iPad sort of wirelessly. And when I first got that, I had issues with that as well, with the Wi-Fi, the 2.4. It was on the same sort of frequency band as that. And that was, I was on a few little niggles and issues with that. So what I did do was I cabled it so it was hardwired, and I've had no issues so far. And that system is a fantastic system for anyone using sort of live band or duo, whatever you're using. To have that sort of flexibility is very cool. So they have 6 channels. The battery life, which I mentioned a second ago, so the battery life is around about, they say about 5 to 6 hours. Now, I've charged this once since I've had them and they're still going now. So I'd say that's pretty accurate. They probably might need a charge again soon, but they're doing pretty well at the moment. What I would say is a massive pro with these is all of the attachments that you get that come with them. So any attachment you can think of pretty much comes with this. So I'll show you what's in the bag, and we'll go to a little bit of a close-up as well, so you can see what comes with this. So you get, first of all, you get this really cool like carry case. That's decent. That's a really decent case. It's like soft hard, but that's going to look after your wireless system pretty well. Whoops. It comes with lots of plastic bits that just falling out on the floor. The plastic bits, just the caps that go on to the top of the over the top of the cables, just to keep them protected, which is a really nice touch. So that pop them back in there. So yeah, it's a really nice little case. Obviously you pop your transmitter and receiver in the little gaps there. And you've got this nice little zip pocket at the top where you can put all the cables and all your gubbins and that to come with it there. And your your IEMs, the actual headphones themselves. So what comes with this then? So absolutely everything you need really. It comes with, first of all, IEMs, so headphones, okay? Now, I can't really compare these to the ones that I have, because ones that I have cost about £1,000 and they're moulded to my ears, okay? But off-the-shelf headphones, I've tried these in, they're very, very good. So I couldn't tell, there wasn't any audio issues or like crackling or any issues like that, or where you thought, oh, this isn't up to, good enough quality. They're really good. And considering they come with the transmitters and receiver in the pack for £129.99, you can't really go wrong. So if you're just getting into the world of IEMs and you want to give it a try, this is a very good system for you to try. So it comes with, as I said, the IEMs, which are actual headphones. Nice long cable there. And then it also comes with obviously the tips as well. So the sort of the ear tips that you can change if you find that one of your ear canals, which like mine, is a bit smaller than the other. You can change the tips and have maybe a different one on left and right, or you can have different sizes to fit your ears, which is really cool. It came with that. It comes with a charging cable, which is USB-C, which is very, very handy because a lot of manufacturers nowadays still give you sort of USB to USB, which is really quite annoying when you run like a Mac or something like that. You want USB-C, it's just much better connection and just easier to connect then straight up into your Mac. But you're really cool. I thought it was quite clever because the cable's like a split cable, so you plug that into, you plug that into sort of your. If you have a Mac, you will know that you have like a USB-C adapter, which has like multiple USB inputs in there because the Mac has very limited sort of USB-Cs on the side. So you plug this into your like adapter, and then you got USB-C that connects into the receiver and transmitter, which will charge them up. And what I thought was quite cool is you use one space on your adapter, and you've got a split cable that will charge both of them at the same time. That's very cool, instead of having two separate cables. I thought that was a nice touch. So that comes with it. That's the headphones. That's the tips on there. And then you get various connectors, which is really quite cool. So you get like a mono connector and a stereo connector, depending on what you need to go into, which is an adapter. That's simply, what I thought was quite nice as well, it clicks in and you can screw it as well to really secure it, which is really quite cool. Because I don't know if you've used these before, I've broken a few of these, or they got stuck in a mixing desk somewhere. And yeah, it's just a really cool sort of thing. So they come with those. And they come with adapters as well if you want to make it sort of stereo, mono, whatever you want to be doing, or extending things, they come with the adapters as well. So you get everything in the bag that you pretty much are going to need. The only thing that I thought you might need is on the back of the XAir desk that I use, the auxiliary outs are XLR, which means none of these in here unfortunately would fit that. You'd have to buy like an XLR adapter that would connect to it, but they're reasonably inexpensive on Amazon. I think I looked and it was about £7, £6.80 something, which is reasonably cheap. And just if you need that, that is, you may not need that. You may be able to plug this straight into a headphone socket on a mixing desk if you're just using like a duo or something like that, or by yourself. Or if you are in a band, then you might need to get a little adapter. So basically what will happen is this one will plug into the mixing desk at the back, and it will just click in like that with the adapter into the XLR output in the auxiliary point. And then, as I say, that will just stick out sort of the mixing desk like that, and then this will be what's connected to you, and it gives you freedom to walk around the stage. 5 to 6 hours of battery life, as I said, which is really good. That's good enough to get you through any gig. And the cables are, you can take the cable with you in your case, and you could potentially, if you need to, if it's a longer gig, a real long gig, then you could potentially charge that up if you needed to any sort of USB connection point. So yeah, as I said, I'm really it's a real sort of positive review for these. So for considering the price, I said £129.99 at the moment on Amazon, just really, really clever thing, and just built really well. Like when I got them out of the case, I was quite impressed. Like I quite like the colour red on the one you pop on your belt, and it's just a smart little system, and just really well sort of made. The case is really good. All the cables that come with it as well seem of good quality. So yeah, if you're in the market of looking for IEMs, either wireless IEM system, and you haven't got a big budget, because £600-700 for like a Shure receiver or a Sennheiser, it's a lot of money. And if you're not using it enough to sort of make that seem worthwhile, then something like this might work really well for you. Okay guys, just to round this video off, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the short review of the KIMAFUN 2.4 GHz wireless transmitter and receiver. It's a great little system, as I said, perfect for if you're dipping your toe in the world of IEMs and wireless receivers. I'd say it was really good for, you can use this obviously in a professional use as well, but when you get to that very top level, I feel like you're probably going to invest in, better systems, or systems that cost a little bit more money. But for £129, you really can't go wrong. So check out the KIMAFUN 2.4 GHz wireless IEM system. Cheers and thanks for watching.